I'm ready. Believe that. So the Green Bay Packers acquire Micah Parsons. I'm hearing a lot of chatter, chitty chatter from Minnesota Vikings fans acting like they scared and talking about the dynamic duo that him and Rashawn Gary will be. What? Nobody scared of Micah Parsons, boy. Yeah. Don't nobody fear Micah Parsons, boy. Yeah. I'll put you on your neck, Micah. Yeah. You lucky you ain't going up against me, boy. I'll put your big ass on your neck, boy. Hands down, man down. He ain't no bully. He ain't no bully of the North. We run the North. Stop talking to me, telling me about Michael Parsons like somebody's supposed to fear him and Rashawn Gary, homie. Huh? First of all, I'm going to get into it later, the article, but the Green Bay Packers, oh, they're going to be in cap space hell. You hear me? That's first off. So they're going to decline as a team naturally because they paid that man all that money. Secondly, he's going to be injured for about 7 games, and it might even be some playoff games if they make the playoffs, period. So I think people tend to forget you got to think about chemistry, success, how the players get along, right? Scheme, etc., etc. Just because he played well and performed at a high level doesn't mean he will be the same player for the Green Bay Packers. Now, he is good. He is a great player when healthy. But that's the biggest question. First off, can a man stay healthy? You hear me? Bottom line is, don't nobody care, though. They talking about Rashawn Gary and Micah Parsons. Man, what? The Vikings we got Andrew Van Ginkel, Jonathan Grenard. You hear me? Dallas Turner. Huh? Let's talk about our dynamic duo firsthand. Hear nothing about Michael Parsons? Does this make the Packers a juggernaut? Do this make them a Super Bowl team? Everybody crowning them like they going to win the North off the rip. Are you kidding me? They got to go through SKOL territory. They got to beat the Vikings. And you know what you do to Micah Parsons? You run right at him. You run right at him. Every play. Like he a bully or something. Like he the biggest dog or something, man. Nobody fear him. And guess what? We got the meats. We got the big dogs up front. You forgot? Oh, y'all forgot, huh? Oh, I dig it. I dig it. We got Will Fries. We got Ryan Kelly, homie. Ain't no more Garrett Bradbury in the middle. Ain't no more Ed Ingram in the middle. Huh? You hear me? Respect, shout out Blake Brendel, but he is in a position that he should have been in as a backup, a solid backup. I will give him that. Give him his just due. But at the end of the day, what? We got the meat, dog. So let's not get too carried away talking about Micah Parsons. I know the Packers. They have some talent. Not going to take that away. But let's be realistic about the situation. Matter of fact, let's just get into the article. Because one player don't make no team great. It's no iron team, correct? But I want to really dive in and see what type of cap space hell the Packers will be in, man. Yeah, people tend to forget that. They crowning the Packers just because they got Michael Parsons like they the kings of the North. Let's get into it. Packers face tough cap questions after Michael Parsons trade, and these players could be the next to go with succession plans in place. The Green Bay Packers made a huge investment to acquire edge defender Micah Parsons, not only by sending 2 first-round picks and defensive tackle Kenny Clark to the Dallas Cowboys, but also by giving Parsons a 4-year, $186 million extension with $2 million extra available via incentives. Oh, man. So they gave up Kenny Clark, so they're no longer a threat in the middle, period. You know what I'm saying? And they gave up 2 first-round picks. So I ask you, Vikings fans and Vikings media who are scared, worried, concerned about Micah Parsons being a Packer now. Look at all the capital they gave away, huh? Look at all the money they paying this man. They can't build. If Jordan Love is not it, they out of a quarterback, huh? How they going to build their offensive line? What young players can they acquire in free agency? All they can do is count on the draft and hope they draft picks hit, huh? So let's calm it down. Calm it down. We know the NFL is a business, huh? A big business. And every move isn't always a great move now. They are in win now territory, period. 4 years, 186 million. That's a lot of guapino, huh? That's a lot of federale, machismo, fettuccine, linguine, baby, linguine, huh? You know, so what we talking about here, homie? You can't sit here and crown these dudes off the back, off the rip. You know what I mean? While that opportunity was too good to pass up, there will inevitably be an impact on the Packers roster construction for years to come. General Manager Brian Gutekunst, however you say that, Gutekunst, won't have nearly the same cap room to retain or sign players, nor the top picks that could realistically bring immediate impact to compensate for that. Albeit Gutekunst's first round track record isn't the greatest one, so he's not even really a great drafter for real. The first signs of how things will change come next year. Several important players become free agents or enter a crossroads on their contracts, and the Packers will have tough decisions to make. And they already paid Jordan Love, so they're really out of money, homie. They better hope it works. I'm sure they're praying this move works. You hear me? They're really in a desperate situation, dog. No cap. The best part for Green Bay is that, unlike most teams that do aggressive moves, the Packers are uniquely well equipped to handle those losses due to the high volume of picks the team has had over the past 3 years. Therefore, let's discuss the players whom the Packers may not be able to keep and what is the succession plan at each position. Rasheed Walker, the incumbent starter at left tackle, is a valuable piece of the roster, but the Packers have an obvious replacement in place with last year's first rounder, Jordan Morgan. Walker is in the final year of his rookie deal. They are competing for the starting job now, and Morgan had a strong preseason performance. While Morgan offers versatility to play tackle and guard, it would make sense to fully establish him at left tackle and allow Walker to leave in free agency. Since the veteran is expected to make something around $14 million a year on the market. Capable left tackles don't grow on trees. The NFL teams will be avid to get one without giving up draft capital. And you know how important the tackle position is, protecting your quarterback, creating lanes for outside runs. You know what I mean? We as Vikings fans have experienced piss poor left tackles, right tackles. Now we're really solidified. So they don't come a dime a dozen, baby. You know? So it's no guarantee their draft pick will live up and play to the same expectations as the starter did. You hear me? So right there, Rasheed Walker, probably out the building. A left tackle starter. Can you replace him? Sean Ryan and or Elgton Jenkins. Sean Ryan is the starting right guard and Elgton Jenkins is the starting center at the moment. So we're talking about them losing their whole front line. Whole starting front line. You hear me? So I ask you again, was it well worth it? While Ryan is in a contract year, Jenkins has a non-guaranteed deal in 26, and his salary jumps from $12.8 million to $20 million. It's nearly impossible to keep them two beyond 2025. Come on to the Vikings, baby. You know? So what they produce on the field this upcoming season and their costs will determine the outcome. Jenkins is likely to make all of his $20 million, and the Packers will probably demand a pay cut or find a midterm extension. If he doesn't play well at center this year or refuse to readjust his deal, the Packers could trade or release him. Without a natural succession plan for the position, Green Bay could give Ryan himself a mid-level extension and move him inside to the center. He had several snaps at center in the preseason and is the immediate backup there. So there is a precedent for the move. In case both are gone, there aren't great options. There aren't great options. The roster. We got a grammatical error. What is that? What the hell is that? Once again, let me repeat it. In the case both are gone, there aren't great options on the roster. They forgot the on that one right there, baby. These beat writers, you know what it is. The best ones would be Jacob Monk, who starts the season on injured reserve. Damn, not a good situation for them. Or guard Donovan Jennings, a former undrafted player who had a rough preseason. Another unlikely but possible scenario would be to move Zach Tom from right tackle to center. But that would be weird considering they pay him 22 mil a year, and it would demand Anthony Belton starting at right tackle. Christian Watson and Romeo Dubs. See, these are star receivers for them. Christian Watson, productive. Romeo Dubs, productive, homie. You know what I mean? So their future, their roster looking very grim. Let's get into it. The Packers took 3 wide receivers in 2022. Samori Toure is gone, but Watson and Dubs have been significant parts of the offense throughout their careers. Dubs has the trust of Jordan Love, and Watson brings a combination of size and speed that is hard to replicate, but injuries have not allowed him to be consistent. While it's possible that the Packers find a way to keep one of them, the roster now looks ready to replace both. Jaden Reed and Dontavian Wicks are still under contract through 2026, and Gutekunst drafted Matthew Golden in the first round and Savion Williams in the third. This is a good bottom line of talent to build a competent receiving room. Now, we know they've been pretty good at drafting receivers. I'll give them that. Can't disrespect it. Got to give props when props are due. But it's still a situation you got to keep an eye on. Quay Walker would be a big loss. The Packers made it clear that they wanted to keep Walker despite declining his 5th-year option for 2026. The problem is that, especially now, it seems unwise to give him anything close to 15 mil a year. The Packers drafted 2 off-ball linebackers in 24, and Jarian Cooper already looks like a superstar, and Tyron Hopper was mentioned by head coach Matt LaFleur as one of the most improved players in camp. Isaiah McDuffie signed a 2-year extension back in March, so there's enough top talent and depth to be comfortable allowing Walker to leave in free agency, even if the team likes his style and leadership traits. By allowing several players to leave in free agency and without much cap flexibility to spend in free agency next offseason, the Packers will be in line to receive up to 4 compository draft picks in 2027. Without their next 2 first, the extra capital will be more than welcome. And that's just what it is. So they're pretty much relying and hoping that the players they drafted continue to progress and be good, right? Pretty much hoping the free agents they brung in continue to prosper and be good and improve. So it's a lot up in the air for the Packers. But this year, I'm sure they're in a win-now situation, though. Bringing Micah Parsons in, certain players, contracts, under contract through the 2025 season. So they're probably not even worried about the future for real, the cap space situation for real, because they're in win-now mode, which they should be. But don't nobody fear Parsons, dog. Yeah, nobody worried about Parsons for real. Now, is he an animal? Is he a great player? Hell yeah. When he's playing at an elite level, he's definitely a problem. But guess what, baby? We're going to solve his ass. Heavy, huh? You hear me? Next topic, next subject at hand, Jalen Nailor. Now, he's expected to play week 1, which is great news for the Vikings. He will come in and be the 2. You'll probably see Adam Thielen at the 3. Now, he was battling a hand injury. You know what I mean? So that's good news to Minnesota Vikings fans' ears that he probably will be available. I ain't going to sit here and cap. The wide receiver room was wearing thin. You know, depth chart, starting players being out. We know Jordan Addison suspended for 3 games, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the fact Jalen Nailor should be ready to rock and roll, yeah, great news for the Vikings, period. And it's time for him to step up, huh? Earn his keep, earn his guapino. This is a make or break season for him, right? Bottom line, let's get into the article. No need to waste no time on it. Shout out Speedy, dog. You know what I mean? Shout out Speedy, bro. Heavy. Definitely need him. Definitely need him in the lineup. Vikings are reportedly optimistic about Jalen Nailor playing week 1. It sounds like Nailor is recovering well from his hand injury. Let's go, baby. Let's get this shit, man. This time last week, there were serious questions about the Vikings wide receiver room from their week 1 game against the Bears. J.J. McCarthy should still have plenty of weapons to work with after acquiring Adam Thielen via trade, along with the optimistic return of Jalen Nailor. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler posted to X on Sunday that the Vikings are optimistic about wide receiver Jalen Nailor Hand playing week 1 versus Chicago, bearing any setback per sources. Minnesota envisions a key role for Nailor, especially with Jordan Addison out via suspension. No need to read that. We know what's up. Nailor has been banged up since early August with a hand injury. The former 6th-round pick has a huge opportunity early this season to have a big role in Minnesota's offense, with Addison suspended for the first 3 weeks of the season. After Minnesota acquired Thielen last week, Nailor now has competition for the wide receiver 2 role early this season. No, he does not. Like I say, I'm taking Jalen Nailor over Adam Thielen all day, every damn day. Period. I ain't gonna think about or dwell on last year. Yeah, he had some drop passes. Yeah, he had some big drops, but it's a new year, dog. It's a new season, dog. And we're gonna see how much of an improved receiver he is. McCarthy will take all of the weapons he can get in his first NFL start on Monday Night Football against the Bears. It sounds like he could have a solid wide receiver trio of Justin Jefferson, Thielen, and Nailor. Let's get it, man. Nailor has had more than 3 receptions in an NFL game only 3 times in his career. Fowler reported that Minnesota envisions a key role, so it will be interesting to see what that looks like in week 1 against Chicago. And that's pretty much what it is, dog. And for Nailor, it can either be a great start to the season or a bad start, correct? Like I say, he's in a money season. He's playing for the Guapino. He's playing for the Federale, baby. You hear me? He's playing for a check. No cap. Whether he remains a Viking, whether another team gives him a chance, this is a make or break season, homie. He playing for that bag. Yeah, he want that bag. He got to go earn and get and take that bag. Bottom line. And it starts Monday night. Definitely has attributes. Fast, agility, speed, quickness. The biggest thing for him is what? We know. Becoming a better route runner. Hopefully he's done that this offseason and catching the ball. No butterfingers, dog. No butterfingers, homie. You hear me? But I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, huh? A brand new season. Brand new possibilities. Yeah. So we're going to see what Jalen Nailor, Speedy, is made of. He came back bigger, stronger, put some weight on, some mass on, kept his speed, kept his quickness. Now the question is, can he put it all together, and will it transition to the football field? And we less than a week away, baby. 7 days, 6 days away. So we're gonna see what's up. Yeah. That's it for the video. Big SKOL here. Make sure you fire them comments up, man. You fear Parsons? How you feel about Speedy? Let me know. You know what it is. Big SKOL, SKOL Vikes, win, lose, or draw. Forever, homie. And guess what, huh? We run the North. Yeah, believe it.